Hey, week number 3. We welcome you into week 3 for All the Tea, live here from Bosses. And you can grab your microphone there, Coach. We welcome in Coach Eric Teen, fresh off a win last night.
Oh, man, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You are, I think they say it in Major League, the movie Major League. You win one, that's a win. You win 2, now you got a winning streak. So you got a winning streak going.
I love it. Yeah, no, it was great. We needed it. We needed a bounce back, and it's good. It's a good time to do it.
Yeah, and you guys played well last night, and it was a lot of fun. The student section.
Wild. I mean, wild in a good way. Wild in a good way. Wild in a good way.
They were great all night, and then at the end they made that tunnel. And
love that.
Yeah.
Love that. That could be like a tradition, keep doing it. And I had to get on my phone quick. I'm like, I got to get a video of
I
this.
saw that, and I took a picture. How much does that help you guys when you get a crowd like that?
It means a lot. It's not just them trying to build their energy out on the court. It's like they can create that spark, and then they're not only playing for just like them, they're also playing for, hey, like I got like my fans or community that we're playing for. It's not just it's bigger than just
absolutely.
Them. It's the
it was fun. Fun atmosphere. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up and where you went to school and all that stuff. Your spouse.
Okay, yeah. Let's start. So I grew up in Tipton, Iowa. It's over by Iowa City, about 30 minutes. So small town. It was a 2A school back then. Now it's like a 3A. It's boomed a little, and grew up running track and cross country, basketball. All this small town. You do everything.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And
and then you went on to run D1 track at USD.
I did, yeah. Running I was really good at it. In basketball, I was always the first one doing the sprints, and I'm like, hey, I'm good at this. I can last a long time. And then I just focused on running, and ended up running a lot. Just was the type of kid who would. It's the 4th of July, and my friends are watching the fireworks. I'm out running. It's yeah.
So what were some of your accomplishments? Obviously, you were good if you ran at USD.
Yeah, so in track they call it the distance double. So in my senior year I won the 3,200 in the mile my senior year, then the cross country my senior year. So the 5K, the 2 mile, and the 1 mile won at state my senior year.
State champion.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
First year, my freshman year, my team made it, and I was dead last. I was 96th place, and it was very embarrassing. And I told myself that will never happen again. And so my sophomore year, I got 16th place.
Oh, wow.
And then junior year, 6th place, and then senior year, 1st place. So it just kind of worked.
You have a story.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's 0 to literally hero.
Yeah.
For running.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
So then when did you start getting involved in the game of volleyball?
Well, so my first year coaching and teaching was at Akron Westfield. Not so far from here, about an hour or so. And I wanted to coach cross country, that's what I was doing, and they didn't have a cross country program at the time, so I wasn't going to be coaching anything. And so I looked up one day what they needed to hire, and I saw there's a volleyball coach, a position, head coach. And I talked to the principal, and I was like, hey, isn't volleyball in the fall? Because I have no idea.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, like no one wants it. And I was like, well, since I'm not crossing cross country, because there's no cross country here, if you need anyone, I could coach. So a day later, he gave me a stack of DVDs, and he said, watch these. And so that's how it all started. So the first video I popped in, I quickly found out I was way over my head. Yeah. And this isn't just rotating every position, playing every position, like pickup ball. And I'm like, I don't know So the first year was a definite learning curve.
And then another success story there, because you go on to become the all-time winningest team. You coached the all-time winningest team there at Akron Westfield. Yeah,
it is. Kind of like the cross-country story where I started in dead last. First year was not rough, it's just a lot of learning that took place that first year. So then the off season, didn't like that feeling, so just like dug into the books, went to coaching clinics, and then from there I had a better understanding idea. Then from there started implementing that, and then I
Sure.
mean, the girls did a lot of it. A really good group, but, it was a girl that transferred from Rapid City Stevens and came in, and she was almost a top 5 blocker in the state of Iowa at the time. Callie Hendricks is her name. Shout out to Callie if you're listening. But she was a stud. Then she went on the throw at USD.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Now the hardest question of the night.
Yes.
What's the easiest? What's the hardest thing to coach? And what's the easiest?
Okay. Easiest thing to coach.
Nothing's real easy.
Nothing's real easy. I would say probably the easiest would be just like I feel like probably the skills that go into it. Like I feel like coaching the skills, like, it's like there's steps and it's easy to go over the steps.
Yep.
And it's very like structured. And I feel like the harder things are not so much in the step-by-step process, energy, there's a lot of different personalities out on the court. So trying to, have personalities that are very quiet naturally and trying to create them and do something what they're not used to doing is the hardest thing. I feel like is just trying to get people to do what they're not used to doing throughout the rest of the day and trying to get them, hey, like we need you to do something you're not comfortable with.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing is trying to create that energy. And
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not only did you break the school record at Akron Westfield, then you come here to T area, and you broke it each of the last 2 years. So 3 different times you've broke the school's all-time wins record. So what do you think is going right for you?
I feel like, first of all, the players. I mean, the players are a lot to do with it. They work hard. They're willing to work hard. Them willing to come into all the open gym opportunities, to get into the gym, to work together. That's a huge start. And we start in the spring, summer, and we get to the season. That's a huge part of it. And, I'm big into having high expectations and standards. And I feel like they really rose up to those standards. And a year before, we had the phrase called lion mentality, getting them to believe. And you're nodding because Ryan was part of that team.
Yeah.
And just them believing, why is the lion the king of the jungle? That, is just their mentality is like, hey, I'm the king. I'm not the biggest. I'm not the fastest. I am. But when I'm on the court, like I'm the king. Having that mindset. And so I think they also believed it.
Yep.
And I feel like, just some of that.
Absolutely. So what are some of the things you like to stress in your program? You really like to first touch, aggressive serving. What are kind of some of your keystone pieces?
Serving is my baby.
Really?
I it's a controllable, and it's kind of like free throws, and so when it comes down to serving, you can use it. And some people, they just want their athletes just to get it in.
Yep.
And I feel like you can do so much more by creating it. So if they have a really good high firing offense, you can slow it down. You can definitely slow it down, and then so they can't set it up. So then they don't get a good approach and swing. So if they have even if they have the best hitter in the whole state, if they can't get the ball to her, that's huge.
And we saw that last night. You guys had several aces. I think 5 or 6 or 7. There's one fly in this place, and it was bothering Coach Anderson earlier. Now it's bothering you.
But its way over here.
You guys did that last night. You got a lot of free balls last night, and you got 5, 6, 7 aces. And so what you're saying worked good for you guys last night.
Yes, and I tell the girls, it's like, yes, it's great to have an ace, but even if they have to send over a push or a free ball, the serve did its job, and now we can then it helps our defense. Like, even if you don't have the best defense, you don't have to rely on it so much where you can just like get a free ball, get a push, and then you can now set up your offense and fire it back and put it away.
I've always said, there's a stat for an ace. There should be a stat for getting a free ball back over because of an aggressive serve, and it should be almost as good as an ace.
Yep.
Because if you get a free ball as a good team, you should put that away.
A perfect pass, so then you can start running your offense.
Yep.
And,
Yep. For the player that doesn't see the court as much as they would like, what do you suggest that they do both in practice and on the bench during games?
I believe, like in practice, like iron sharpens iron. So the team that, I get on the other side a little bit, and like both sides need to be going for balls, getting on the ground, like, because we're going to see that the other team's going to be doing that.
Yep.
So we have to be doing it, because if the ball just drops, it makes the rotation side feel good, but it's like, how can we make us get more game-like scenarios in practice?
Sure.
So we can have the other side going just as hard. It's like, hey, give me what you got.
Sure. If you could choose one player position, where would you put her? If you had an all-state player that came in, what would you want her to be? Would you want her to be a middle, an outside, a setter? That might not even be a fair question, but
That's tough. I'm gonna have to say a setter.
yeah,
A setter, even off not a good pass, if you have a really good setter, they can make something out of nothing. And even if you don't have the best hitters, they can make average hitters look like they're really good if they can just consistently get that ball.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Everyone's important.
Yep.
Everyone's important. But,
That's why it's such a hard question.
I mean, they always get that second ball,
Yep.
So they got to put the team in the best position.
And they're really, if you think about it, that's the only player on the court that's pretty much guaranteed to touch the ball every possession that you get if you can help it.
Yep.
What do you think is the hardest position to play? I know what I think. Let's hear what you think.
I gotta say back row. I gotta say libero, and maybe that's because I'm a front row player. I serve. I get subbed out because my back row skills aren't the best.
Yep.
But there's a lot of, you're getting balls reamed at you.
Yep.
Hard. Sometimes there's not even a block, and you're expected to get that ball up.
Yeah.
It's a hard skill.
You're on center stage, kind of. I've always laughed because the setter, no one really knows if it's a good set or bad set. The hitter, they can maybe hit it out of bounds, and people still cheer for him and say, keep swinging. But when you're out back there and you're all alone and maybe you shank a serve, they're coming right for you again. So, I agree with you.
That is the worst feeling when you know a coach is coming at you. There's
Yep.
nothing you can do except for get a good pass and then say, hey, serve at me again. I'll get you another good pass. And then they can finally get away from you. But it's a horrible feeling.
Yeah. As you close out the season, what do you hope to be doing right now? You're nearing the end. Your 2-game win streak. You've played really well the last 2 games.
Yeah.
What do you want to be doing well right now?
Confidence. I feel like each time, like each practice, each game is just instilling confidence and just letting them know that they have the ability to. They have the tools in the tool belt and they have what they need. It's just they need to remember that they have that screwdriver, that hammer, that all that they need they have, and don't forget that they have it. Even if the other team goes on a run, them believing that they can. A lot like the line mentality. It's like they need to believe that they can. So if our team, if they believe that they can, watch out.
Yes, I agree. If you weren't teaching, what would you be doing? You are an elementary PE teacher.
I am an elementary PE teacher. I would probably be a streamer and probably play video games. I know.
That's what you do all summer.
That is my hobby. I know. That is my hobby. Love it. But
really?
I enjoy elementary.
Are you a gamer that wears the headset and the whole shebang? You got the gaming chair and really?
I got to have a good headset because I don't like not having the tools that I need
to
be successful. So I have the whole kit and caboodle.
Last question. One food you'd never eat.
One food I've never.
You'll refuse to eat. Like for me, mushrooms.
Ooh,
get out of here.
I would say bugs. Like if someone were to order me, like if we were to go to a different country and they were to have bugs, fried bugs, no, I could not.
My son ate one in Washington, D.C. last summer, and I thought, you're crazy. They were.
I could not. I think the legs and the wings are just.
Right.
The texture.
I'm with you.
I could not.
I'm with you. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by. Are you coming from practice?
I came straight from practice.
Wow, you look good. Because I've heard you get up there sometimes in practice and swing on them.
I was getting up there.
I've watched you play. You're a big hitter. So that's good for the girls.
It's good because the other team, we got
right.
Logan Bly tomorrow. She's a big middle. It's like, hey, she can probably hit harder than me sometimes. So to have them see that, it's.
I believe last Tuesday someone said the USD volleyball coach was in attendance. Was that true?
I don't know.
And it was maybe that Aubrey Nelson. Maybe they were coming to see. Maybe Lizzie Spey.
Oh, Audrey.
So
could be. Hey,
just maybe they were wrong, but
hey, it's okay. Hey, put on a show.
Yeah. Well, thanks, buddy. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank
Congratulations on last night.
You so much.
Yeah. We'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good.
You can go get Mark and have him come up. I'll hold that for you.
Okay.
There goes Eric Teen. We're live here at Boss's, where nice crowd tonight. It's half off everything here tonight, and their 17th anniversary, and so people are taking advantage of that. And packed house tonight. Plus, they've got the comedy in the back. I'm gonna get some chicken wings to go here tonight. Come on up, Coach. You can use that microphone. It is on. This is the only soccer coach T-Area has ever known. 10 years this year for Coach Mark Anderson.
Yep.
And he's going back to his 6th state championship appearance. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and what do you do for a living and all that stuff.
Grew up in the Sioux Falls area. Born in southwest Minnesota, but we moved to Sioux Falls when I was probably a year old.
Mm-hmm.
Actually grew up on the east side of Sioux Falls, and then later on moved to the west side. I've been in the golf and turf industry since I graduated high school.
Oh, wow.
Worked for a company for 35 years that sells greens mowers, fairway mowers, everything you see on a golf course.
Yeah.
And I did service for years and parts, and then ended up managing the store. And the company that owned us closed the Sioux Falls location.
Oh.
And that's how I ended up out at NB Golf Cars, just outside of T
Yeah.
here. And so I've been around golf equipment and golf carts a lot of my life.
A lot of your life.
Yep, turf.
Yep. And married for how many years now?
Oh my gosh, put me on the spot. Oh man. I know it's more than 35 and less than 40.
Okay. That's
How's
good
that?
enough. That's good. Congratulations.
Close. My wife's going to kill me.
So you told me yesterday, this is the 10th year anniversary for this program.
Yep.
And you told me a little bit about how it happened, and it's really fascinating. So tell us how we came to have girls soccer as a high school sport in T.
Well, there were some girls. One of them was my daughter, Kaylee Anderson, and she had a friend, Kennedy Cahoy, and Katie Underberg. And they all played club soccer, and I somehow got to know them all, coached them a little bit here and there, and coached in Sioux Falls. And they had heard they could play for Harrisburg. They had a program in Harrisburg because T didn't have one.
Yep.
So they all did that for a year. Katie may have played 2 years. Sophomore year they played together. And then Kennedy and Kaylee said, why don't we go to the school board in Brent Tabor and say, we need soccer in T. And they harassed him, and they
I
kept
heard.
going to his office. And, oh, yeah. And finally Brent said, you get me a roster and a coach, and then we'll go to the school board. And they did. They brought 17 names. I don't know how many had ever played soccer before, but, and brought my name up because they had asked me, would you want to coach? And I'm like,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Didn't know what that was going to entail, but, I mean, it moved pretty fast. We went to several school board meetings, and then Robert Hoffman and Temple Soccer stepped up and said, hey, we'll do what we need to do if you need help getting the program going.
Sure.
Which was great. And school board said, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And things went fast from there.
Yeah.
Sherry and I mean, we were like chief cook and bottle washer. We ordered everything, organized everything, and Brent DeBoer gave us a lot of help.
Yep. Where did you practice?
Front yard of the middle school.
Oh, my goodness.
Over off High Point, there were some open fields years ago.
Yep.
There were no soccer fields. We
Nope.
practiced there, and then Kennedy Cahoy lived on the edge of town, had a huge backyard, and we practiced there.
Wow.
Yep.
And look at you now.
Yes. Long ways.
I heard one of the big concerns was they didn't think they were going to get the numbers consistently. Was that true?
Yeah. Early on, there was doubts about numbers, and T was growing, not
Yep.
like it is now, but you know, and the girls went and talked to other girls that had played a little bit of rec. A few had played club, not many.
Yep.
And it was, you know, as a new high school sport, there's some girls that thought, let's do it. And we went from there, and I coached hockey previously, and yeah, you got to be tough, but it's got to be fun.
Yep.
And we just we made it fun as we could.
Yep.
That's where the Midnight Madness thing
Yes.
came in,
And you're still doing that, and I think the huge numbers that you guys get isn't just because of growth. I think it's because you've really made that program a family. You guys go down and go to the mission. You make blankets together. You do your Midnight Madness that's been on featured on the news, and that segues into my next question about Sherry. She's a huge part of this program. Your wife. Tell us what she means, currently to this program.
We wouldn't eat on road trips if it weren't for my wife.
Yeah.
She takes care of a lot of that stuff that I don't have time to. Ordering food, T-shirts, uniforms. I mean, she's a team mom. She's tough when she needs to be. Some parents don't understand that, but she has to be. But yeah, she is. She does so many things people don't realize.
Right, behind the scenes stuff.
And there's moms that have been with the program that know exactly what she does every year.
Yeah, she is a keeper. She does a lot.
Oh yeah. Yep.
How do you keep doing it? What I mean by that is, how do you keep coming back every year, and how do you keep winning as much as you've won?
It's a pretty basic, the winning part of it, and it's a fun, good part of it, not the most important, but it's practice. And I have individual girls and even parents. How does my player get better when they're little? Go to practice.
Yeah.
Repetition, do the things you're supposed to do. It's learn the basics right away. And I think I've told teams every year after year after year, I said, when it's not fun anymore, and I say to my wife or to myself, I'm not looking forward to practice or summer training.
Yep.
It gets harder the bigger we get and the more club players we get, but I haven't had that feeling yet.
Good.
I just don't want to go.
That was my next question. How much longer will you coach? You can't really put a timeline on that.
I kind of did.
Oh.
And this is, few people know it, few people don't. As of today, next season probably is my last.
Oh, wow.
The vote, came last year that we stay A division 2 more years.
Yep.
And this drives my wife nuts. There's always, years ago, some players will remember Britley Minard.
Oh, yeah.
Because way back before her, I was like, okay, I might not coach anymore. And people asked me, I said, well, I'm going to follow Britley through senior year. And then it became Brooke Deckard. And
sure. There's always.
And now Afton Murray. And there's just a group of players
you
get attached to. And now there's all these young girls coming up. It's tough to do.
You've got
but
some.
I've got 5 grandkids.
Oh.
So.
Yeah.
And they're all under 7 years old.
And you talk about Sherry. I know you put in a ton of time that people don't realize, too. I can't even imagine. So you had 2 years. So you started. Okay, you had 2 years of growing pains.
Yep.
I'm not going to talk about those. Okay. Since your 3rd year, this is the numbers I have. You are 77 wins to go with 22 losses, and there's 16 ties in there. 6 state championship appearances in 8 years.
Yep.
You've made the semifinals every single year the last 8 years. Of those 22 losses, 5 are to AA schools. Since your 3rd year, only 3 A programs have beat you. So in 8 years, only 3 high schools have been able to beat you. A high schools have been able to beat you.
Yep.
And since that 3rd year, I love this number because you guys are fearless. You'll play anybody. You're 11-5, 11 wins, 5 losses against AA schools, and throw in 10 ties in there.
Yep.
And so you guys just will take on anybody. And I think you don't have to answer this, but I think Roosevelt took you off the schedule because they got a little frustrated.
That's the story, because I believe that year the boys either beat or tied them, and we tied them, and that was it. Off the schedule, and some of it comes from my club days when I coached hockey and soccer about play better teams. It makes you better. And Brent came to me and said, "Hey, can we play some AA teams? Bring them on. It makes us better."
Yep.
And the points we work off of to qualify for playoffs and that helps playing the AA teams.
Yep.
And for some reason, I tell the girls, I said, you should get up for everybody like we do the AA team because we've done well. I mean, yeah, it's good for the girls. Well,
and I think they do get up for everybody because another amazing stat I have this year, you've played 10 A schools this year, and you've allowed 1 goal in those 10 games.
Yep.
So,
yep.
So it's a great concept. Play those tougher schools and don't be afraid to lose, and then just dominate the A teams that you play with.
I had something happen today, and I hadn't told you this, and this has happened in the past. I got an email from they're up by the Twin Cities, and this happened a few years ago and about 6 years ago, reaching out, hey, we want to come to Sioux Falls. We want to play. They would be considered our level team.
Oh.
And they said, we're reaching out to you. Do you think that would be possible? We'd come to Sioux Falls. I'm like, Yeah, I got to ask my AD, but
Yeah.
And I sent it to Craig and said, hey, for next year maybe, and years ago with Brent too, team from St. Paul area, same deal.
Well, that
Come
would be
down and play.
really
I'm
neat.
excited if we can do that.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would be really neat because you see some of the West River schools that are way on the edge, and some of those they'll play some Wyoming teams and just somebody different.
Yeah.
On Saturday, you play for the state championship. Aside from that, seems like this is the most games you've played in a season. How's the season gone?
It's we have a good record. We're at, I think, 11-2-2.
Yep.
Little up and down. It's hard to top 2018, 2019. We broke the 50 goal mark twice.
Yeah.
That's tough to do. We won a lot of games. We won a state championship. We just had the players. The year after, we still made a state championship. We struggled to score, though, consistently. And last season, too. Now, this year, our scoring is up. But that's kind of where it's been. We've been in tight games.
Yep.
Where last year we learned in those tight games, we didn't finish. And this year we're winning those tight games. So
yeah,
that's been a little bit of a up and down season, but I like where we're at.
I do too. What role, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what role has club soccer played in this area, Tempo, Dask, to make these area teams tougher?
It's a lot. I mean, it's helped quite a bit. Like I said, when we started with those 17 players 10 years ago, 4 or 5 maybe had a lot of club experience.
Yep.
A bunch didn't have any, and that's changed every year with Tempo, with Dask. Back in the day it was Great Plains and Dakota Gold. I coached for both of them.
Yep.
We do a team camp with USD's coach now.
Oh, wow.
Michael Thomas, and he said that's a big difference. Vermilion is struggling to build that program, and I think that'll change. But he said, my club players have gone up every year, and I said, I agree.
Yep.
That is, that's how you get better. West Central, being close enough, they stay consistently good.
And Sioux Falls Christian had a great year this year. Dakota
bet.
Valley, I'm sure all those, they've improved so much. I'm sure they play down there for the Banditos or whoever that is.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Have you heard of any? We've seen some new teams pop up in recent years, like Vermilion Boys, West Central Boys. Have you heard of any new teams coming up?
There's always talk of, years ago, Hot Springs had a team. They had a boys team.
Oh, that's
I think
right.
They won a state title in BT.
Oh, wow.
Actually. And they had some girls that played. So their name comes up, and then Woolsey, Washington Springs, has been fighting for about 3-4 years to get enough players to play. Huron has had some co-ed teams over the years, and that's how Washington Springs, how they have to do it. I'm surprised there isn't more like Elk Point or somebody.
Right.
I know they're big in basketball and volleyball, but Dakota Valley, and it won't take long. Dakota Valley's boys right now are struggling. West Central's boys, it won't take long.
No, because I remember when I remember talking to Jesse, Dakota Valley, and they went winless for 2 or 3 years, and then all those girls that were played as 7th graders, 8th graders, 9th graders did pretty good once they got older.
Yep.
You called, when you won the 2018 championship, you called that team your calmest team ever, is what you said. What would you say about this current team right now?
It's different dynamics. There are so many different personalities, and at times it works, and at times it doesn't. It's a lot to grasp, and I don't know that parents understand. Some do. When you put 40 teenage girls together, JV and varsity, and try to mold that, I not an excuse, but I like to tell people, as a club coach, I got 9 months out of the year usually to build those teams. And with high school, I throw 13 to 18-year-olds together for a little bit of the summer, and then boom, let's make a team.
Yep.
It's a challenge, but that's this team this year. Like I said, up and down, but we're where we wanted to be.
Yeah. You're a big music guy. Do you have a Mount Rushmore of music or of bands or some groups you like?
I do, and it's changed a little bit over the years, but I have such a strange or eclectic group I like.
Yep.
I'm not a huge country fan. I can listen to it. I like jazz. I like classical. I can go from a week ago Monday, I sat for 2 hours and listened to Iron Maiden.
Oh, wow.
That's an old school hard rock band. Great show. Prince, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
My top 5 is Purple Rain. People look at me sometimes.
Wow.
Phil Collins, an amazing performer. I'm all over with music. I like it all. Even there is some rap I can listen to.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Do you have
Max Mack
a
has
favorite?
become one of my new ones.
Oh,
And they're an old band. but
wow.
I really didn't listen to them a lot. I saw them at Sturgis about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And got me hooked.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite concert you've ever been to?
Another one that's kind of off the wall, just because I was kind of young, probably shouldn't have been there, and they played. Everybody said it was one of the longest concerts ever in Sioux Falls. They're an old band, Nazareth,
Okay.
way back, and then they opened up for kind of a new one back then in '80s. You call him a pop star, Billy Squire.
Oh, yeah.
It was a fun show, but I've also been to Ozfest.
Oh, wow.
People that have been to Ozfest at Apple River, Wisconsin, it goes on for days, and
Can't beat it.
There's nothing you don't see at Ozfest, like Sturgis.
Right. You're on your way to practice. We're going to get
Yep.
you out of here.
Yep.
You brought 3 seniors with you, Kara, Kendra, and Sydney.
Yep.
What can you say about those 3?
Amazing. They've done everything I'm asked them to. They all have a different story. If I have a few seconds, not everybody knows their stories. I mean, Kendra had a sister that was a superstar for me, scored 40 goals in 2 seasons. Kendra's a defender, totally different people.
Yep.
You
Yep.
don't even compare them hardly.
Yep.
So she's been great to have. She's so grounded. I'm going to miss, I won't have a McKinney for the first time.
Yeah.
Kara was a player that was always on the edge. She played a lot growing up, but last few years hasn't played club. She came into this season and she trained on her own so much. Amazing athlete now. She's a starter.
And scored the game-winning goal in the
Yes,
semifinal.
she did, with an amazing play. If you watch that, athletic.
From Kendra, with the corner kick from Kendra.
Yep. And Sydney Sherwood, as an 8th grader, we said, she's got it. 9th grader, she blew her knee out, surgery. Rebuilt, came back 10th grade, blew her the other knee out, surgery. Thought she was done. And I said, I wouldn't blame you if you never
Yep,
touch us.
I agree.
She got a hold of me months later and said, I'm playing, I'm coming back, and blew me away. She spent her junior year, didn't score a bunch, worked her butt off, got her soccer sense back, and came into this year, and she's been one of the best on the field for us.
Yeah, it's amazing coming back from those 2.
Oh, yeah.
We'll let you get out of here. Good luck on Saturday, and it's great to be back in the championship, huh?
It is, definitely. Thank you.
Always good to talk to you. There goes Coach Anderson. And we're going to move the chairs here because we're going to bring the girls in. And Coach Anderson is always he's always so good with his time and talking soccer with me, whether it be on Facebook, Messenger, or text. So I couldn't wait to talk to him tonight, and especially to tell the story about how the program started. Here you go. I'll give this to you.
Okay.
All right, guys. You guys are on your way to practice, I heard.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll kill some time here so you don't have to go. Yeah, tell us, just go through and tell us your name and what position you play.
Okay, my name's Sydney Sherwood, and I'm an attacking mid.
My name's Kendra McKinney, and I'm a center defense.
My name's Kara Knutson, and I'm a defender.
As a senior, what would winning your last game as a Titan, winning the state championship, mean to you guys individually?
I think it'd mean a lot to us. We've come very far from the beginning of the season, and we've had some bumps in the road, but I think we really deserve it because of how hard we'd worked.
Yeah, I think just how this is our last soccer game ever, or most of ours.
Yep.
It'd be just great to win our last ever soccer game.
It'd just be a good way to end it.
Yeah, good way to. It's a good way to go out. I mean, I want you guys to win, but it's a good way to go out either way. You made it back for the 6th time in 8 years. What age did you guys begin playing soccer, and do you remember what interested you in the sport?
So pretty much my mom made me sign up for a sport when I was 6, and it was soccer in my first practice. I absolutely loved it, and Kendra's dad was actually my first coach. So, yeah, and I've loved it ever since.
Well, like she said, my dad was the coach, so he made me.
Yeah, he was in here the other night, and we were talking about that, how he originally hated soccer, and then he ended up coaching it. Kara, how about you?
I started when I was 4, but I just cried on the field all the time, so then I quit and then started up when I was 7.
Yeah. Can you guys describe what it's like? I was talking to Coach Anderson. You guys are 77-22 in the last 8 years. I mean, you guys have had tremendous success. What's it like to be part of a program like that? Do you have a lot of pride, putting on the jersey?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you wearing your sister's jersey.
Yep.
She wore number 1 for 6 years,
Yeah.
something like that. And now you've worn it, and you'll wear it one more game. But you guys, the stats that I read off to Coach Anderson are pretty impressive for you
Yeah.
guys. You've allowed 1 goal in 10 games to an A team this year.
Yep.
So Kendra gets credit for that, being the defender.
Yeah.
What would be the highlight for you guys that stands out in your soccer career? Can you think of 1 game or 1 goal, something like that?
I think my 7th grade year, and it was my first varsity goal against Groton, and it was probably the most exciting thing that's ever happened,
Absolutely.
I'd say.
Mine was probably our second game versus Dakota Valley this year, because it was like my first game that I was like not feeling my knee hurting.
Oh,
And I just felt like it was one of my best games.
cool. And it was a little payback win. How about you?
Probably the last game, getting the goal to send us to state.
Yeah,
So
I definitely agree
I
with
thought that would be yours. Me and Mark talked about that before he left, and he was pretty happy. So, Sydney, you had 2 season-ending knee surgeries in back-to-back years. How hard was it to come back, and did you ever consider not coming back?
So my first one, I was definitely like just gonna stick it out, do everything I can to come back. And my second one hit me a little harder. It was definitely harder to come back, and physical therapy was more difficult. And I definitely thought about quitting, but my friends and everyone, and then the love for the game just kept drawing
Yeah.
me back. So
Yeah, really neat story. Were you scared for like how long were you scared when you came back, or maybe you weren't scared at all?
So last year, it definitely took some warming up for me to get back into the game. But this year, I feel 100% confident, which is in my knees, I guess, which is
Good.
really nice.
And Kendra, so your sister Carly played. She was a striker. You are a defender. How did that come about? How did it come about that you are a defender, and are you guys different players?
Yeah, well, I started out like when I was young being a defender, and then gradually throughout my years playing, I started as a striker, and then gradually I went to midfield, and then I went to outside back, and then now I'm where I am at center back.
When did you start playing center back, or defender at least?
I think 2 years ago is when I started getting into it.
Yeah. I remember watching you, not knowing if you were a defender or what you were, but watching you play defense and going, she's a really good defender. So, Kara, you didn't play as early as some others in your grade, like when you were a freshman or an 8th grader. But you are now a captain. You scored the game-winning goal. How special is it for you to be playing now, starting and being a captain?
well, I've played varsity since 7th grade, so not played varsity. I'm saying like I had the same experience as everyone else.
Right.
I've played the same amount of years as all my friends.
Yep.
So
The game-winning
know.
goal, how did that feel?
pretty good since I was a defender and I'm not really supposed to be scoring. So it was unexpected too because it wasn't a good kick. So it just went in.
It wasn't a good kick from her?
No, it wasn't a good kick.
Sure.
Beautiful corner
I was
kick.
going to say,
but
it was a corner from Kendra, fed it into
no,
her.
it was a weak shot and it just
Yeah, it was a great
Got
play.
knocked
It held on. You guys held on for a long time. 1-0. What makes Coach Anderson such a great coach?
I'd say definitely this season we've had some bumps in the road, and he just hasn't given up on us, which shows how much he cares for our team, I guess.
Yeah.
He just is good at understanding us, which is it's nice to have. And now we have other 2 coaches, and one's a girl. And it's
Yep.
nice finally adding a girl.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yep.
agree. What makes Coach Anderson such a great coach?
Oh, everything. Just a nice guy.
Yeah. He is. I like what Kendra said about he's understanding. He can get down on you guys' level as teenagers.
Yeah,
and kind of hard for some of us old guys to do. What needs to happen Saturday for you guys to win?
I feel like in some games we get worked up and we kind of, I don't know, lose our speed of play. So I think if we come out fast and strong, Saturday will be ours.
I think we just have to all have good attitudes going
Yep.
on, knowing that we're going to put our full effort in and leaving it all on the field.
Kara, what do you need to do Saturday to win?
We need to just work as a team and stay chill and
Yeah.
not have too much confidence, but be confident
Yeah.
that we can win if we try our hardest.
Absolutely. Favorite Netflix binge? I'm going to grade you on this.
I recently just finished the Dahmer series. I was timid on saying that on this podcast. Didn't know, but yeah, that's.
I did too. It's really good. A+.
Mine's New Girl.
I don't know what that is. Sounds like something my wife and daughter would watch.
I can't pick a favorite, but currently Better Call Saul.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one. I love Better Call Saul. Last question. Where are you guys going next year if you're going to school, or what are you doing, and what do you want to be doing 10 years from now?
I'm not totally sure where I'm going to school yet, but I plan on being an art teacher. Oh, nice. So, yep.
Nice. Kendra?
I don't know where I'm going to school, and I don't know what I want to be.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Well, you've got a few months.
Well, I'm headed to Spain after I graduate, and then I'm going to take a gap year and live in my van.
Really?
And then I don't know what I'm doing for college.
Nice. Spain. I like it. Well, here's what Coach Anderson told me today in text. He said, when you're done, kick them out the door right away because they've practiced. Practice started 2 minutes ago.
Yep.
Thank you guys for coming.
All right.
We'll see you Saturday. Best of luck to you guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Kendra McKinney, Kara Knutson, and Sydney Sherwood off to practice they go. And we bring in Les Schroeder. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. Game last night? We had a busy night last night. I went and watched middle school volleyball. You went and coached middle school volleyball in Del Rapids.
I did.
We both raced back here. One of us made it in time to call the volleyball game from the beginning.
My girls were playing last night and won, so I was at more important things before the varsity. Varsity is important, yes. No, I was with my girls last night and then made it back for the second set. So I did watch the first set from the bus on the way back from Del Rapids, and again we gave leads. We started out giving them leads, and then we worked our way back.
It was so weird.
And
First set was 5-0. Every game we were down. We started each set of the 4 sets at least down 3-0.
Exactly, but we had our passing last night was stellar. It was on point. We attacked when we needed to, and Beersford was coming in off a win, and so were we. But we're playing better right now.
They're coming in off a win against not their last game, but a few games ago against a top 5 team.
Yeah,
and we beat them up pretty bad last night.
Yep.
Spey is really kind of on another level right now, hitting the ball really hard. I thought the back row played outstanding. I thought Jillian played great. Serving was great.
I thought Gwen Campbell's passing last night was pretty good.
Yeah.
And you're right. Our serving when our spot serves, when we served it short, we found the spots to hit.
Yeah. It was a fun game.
It was.
They're off at Garrettson and then at McCook Central Montrose. So a couple of state tournament level teams there and Saturday.
Yes, they go to Garrison tomorrow night, which should be a good game. I think Coach Steen has them ready to go, as he talked about earlier tonight. And then Saturday we have our first round opponent is Lennox. So
my goodness.
We play Lennox right away. If we win, I think we play Dakota Valley. If we lose, I'm not sure it was Madison or somebody else, but I'm not sure. But anyway, Lennox is our first round opponent on Saturday at I think 9 o'clock.
Hey, let's beat Lennox one more time
I would
before
like
the
that
season's
too.
over.
That would be awesome.
Competitive dance and cheer. I don't think they've really done anything since we've talked.
No.
They had that great. They always do such a great job at the football games.
Yep. They had one canceled, and so now they're remaking that one up. And now this Saturday, they go down to Platte Geddes
Yep.
at 11 o'clock.
And then after that, they're in the Swift Health Center in Brookings.
Yes.
So that team in their first season. Football, this will be an interesting one on the road against number 1 Pier.
I think the state's watching this one.
I think it's the biggest game in the state. And I said before that it wasn't a big deal, but it is a big deal for seeding.
Yes.
We'd rather be the 1 seed than if you're a 1 seed, you get to play the 4 seed instead of the 3. That 3 is probably going to be Yankton.
Yankton or Watertown. Yep.
I know I don't have to tell Coach Fry this, but the strategy for Friday night is keep pounding the ball and keep Lincoln Keenholz on the sidelines.
Yes, I agree with that as well.
The state's all-time leading passer,
Yes.
Lincoln Keenholz. Keep him on the sidelines and off the field offensively at
It's
least.
going to be a fun game. It will. It's going to be a blast.
It should be. We're still a little beat up. Nike Rosas is still a week away.
Yep.
I'm not sure with Reese Kirschman. I haven't asked him recently.
I'm not sure either. He was at the volleyball game last night. I saw.
Griffin Schneider is
Griffin
back.
Schneider, yep.
So not at full strength, but we're getting there. We're close.
yes.
And then after that, they play. Remember,
Then they
next
play on
week is a Thursday.
Thursday night, yes. Thursday.
At Watertown.
Yes.
They have star running back Juven Hudson up there that's been making a lot of noise this year.
Yep,
So
'cause then we start the playoffs, and we will.
Yep.
With our record, we'll obviously host that first round.
first and second it
First
should
and
be.
second possible. Yep.
Girls soccer, we talked to 7 p.m. is the game Saturday. Usually we play the state championship games early.
Well, see, I think I did see the schedule. It's 11-1, and then 5-7.
Yep.
And so they will be on another TV station, and I'm excited for our girls. I really am.
West Central and T area both lose 8 seniors next year.
Wow.
And it's a lot.
Yep, it is.
Both teams looking at the rosters, those 8 seniors, it's a lot of talent missing. I don't know what their younger ones look like. I know Coach Anderson's really excited for our younger
Yes,
players
our younger players are,
to replace them.
Yep.
Both teams lose their goalkeeper. He said it's the first time next year that a McKinney won't be playing soccer for T. Next year will be the first year that a Fisher is
a
not in
Fisher
goalie
Yes.
for West Central.
Yes.
Thank goodness. We've played better opponents. West Central has allowed, I believe, 2 goals on the year. We've allowed 8. So
And I
just
remember that
just
game
by
that we played.
comparison, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I remember that game that we played against West Central, and I mean it was nip and tuck all the way through, and it was a great game.
I
And
thought we controlled it
we did.
better
I
than
thought-
they did. They
I
snuck a
thought
goal
we
in.
did too. Yes, I did too.
So they've allowed 2 goals. We've allowed 8. We've only allowed 1 to an A school. And by comparison, listen to this. Teams that are in A. Garrettson's allowed 45 goals. Vermillion's allowed 31. Dakota Valley has allowed 29. The only one close to us is Sioux Falls Christian. They allowed 11 goals. I think they played a couple fewer games, but be exciting Saturday. That's the
I
first
know.
thing Coach Anderson said when I talked to him over here was it's good to be back, meaning in the state championship.
Yes.
So we missed out on it last year. Cross country girls, a big day coming up tomorrow because they had their DAC 12 meet. They have their region meet tomorrow.
Okay.
And so what that means is it doesn't matter what you did the rest of the season. If you place in that region meet, you're going to state. So in the DAC 12 meet, Bab took 8th. She was just 7 seconds off the lead. Belos took 12th. Bab and Belos earned all conference honors. Meredith Decker for the girls, 31. Brooklyn Reiners, 33rd. Haley Cover, 34th. And Lydia Decker, 36th. The team finished 5th. Jack Campbell sneaked in the 20th spot. He earned all conference honors. Holden Jellin, 24th. Reed Hammerquist, 27th. Alex Kaiser, 43rd. Peyton Seibert, 45th. And the boys team finished 6th. So best of luck to them tomorrow at the region meet. State is in Huron, and that's October 22nd. Hopefully it doesn't snow this year.
That's right.
You want to tell us what the JV did for cross country?
Let's see. What did the JV do? I can let you read that. I'll do the marching band.
Tate Van Laken, he took 7th.
Okay.
Jonah Klimish took 20th. Abby Hilson, 9th. Maya Thorstensen, 11th. Logan Castle, 13th. And Scarlett Taylor 16th. They were all medal winners. So cross-country season slowly coming to an end. Marching band?
Well, marching band, they actually had a little thing out at the high school in the field on Monday night for
that's right.
the senior little the one last hurrah for their marching season. The Titans took second out of 24 teams competing, and the middle school took first for the second straight first place finish. The marching band season is wrapped up for the year. It's been an awesome year. I mean, it really has.
They kind of, one of their last performances was at the football game last Friday night, and they were all out there, the whole color guard, their new uniforms.
Yes,
man,
they looked sharp.
They looked good and sounded good. So I heard one of the waitresses here at Boss's was telling a couple of customers about how great our band program is.
Oh, they're our band, yeah.
The waitress has a middle schooler in band, and she said that they're just always good. I just don't know what it is. They're just always outstanding.
Well, and you know, I used to work with a couple of them, Jesse and Peyton, and they're in the band, and they're enjoying it every single day.
Yep, a couple drum players. Boys soccer ended their season. A heck of a game. They lost 1-0 to the number 1 seed, Sioux Falls Christian. They should be proud of that game and the season. I know they had some new players come in. They had some injuries, and they finished 7-2. They played against 5 AA schools, and they were competitive all year, just like they always are. Their numbers are a little down from where they used to be, but we'll get those numbers back up. And they don't have as many as the girls, but but it's coming. Well, look at there. We're doing pretty good on time.
We are doing pretty good on time.
So volleyball tomorrow night, that would be a huge win. And your middle schoolers play tomorrow night?
Yes, our 8th graders play Brandon Valley, and our 7th graders also play Brandon Valley.
I
think I'm at the 7th grade team that is coached by Coach Hansen is at Brandon Valley tomorrow, and so is the 8th grade coached by Emily Christensen, and then the 8th grade home is Coach Leslie and Chelsea Leslie, and then I will be home with my team tomorrow. And the 8th graders are at the high school since the varsity is away at Garrison tomorrow night, and then the 7th graders are at the middle school. So I'm excited.
Are you halfway through your season? 5 games?
We have 4 games left after this. We play, I think, the following week a couple, and then the following week after that we have a couple too. So
I know 8th grade A is 1-4, 8th grade B is 4-1, just the opposite. I'm not sure about C and D. So
now, I mean, our 7th graders A and B, I don't know the records off the hand. I know my team, my C team, has played some really good teams.
This isn't going good spot.
We haven't lost yet.
You haven't?
No, we haven't lost yet. And then my D team has one loss. They lost to Memorial. So
are you thinking maybe Coach of the Year honors this year, or maybe a statue?
No, not me. Not me at all. It's all girls. It's definitely the girls that are doing this. They have. I mean, what I'm more proud of is, as we talked about on the broadcast of one of our volleyball games, is that we want them to get better from the start of practice to the start of the year to the end of the season.
Yep.
The wins and losses will take care of themselves.
Yep.
I'm not so worried about wins and losses because we're trying to get them ready for Coach Dean at that level up there. The 7th grade level is our developmental level. 8th grade is more, getting your positions, going where you're supposed to go. And then when they get into the high school level is all pretty much more specialized, I guess, what you want to say. But yes, I mean, we have had a successful season so far, and I'm looking forward to finishing it strong.
Yeah. Well, Boss's Pizza, thanks for having us again. We have a great crowd here tonight, comedy in the back. They've got the banquet room back there, and they're working hard and making all these pizzas. There's someone carrying out 3 pizzas as we speak. And so get down here if you can, because it's half off everything the rest of tonight. Celebrating 17 years in business at several locations, and
I can't believe it's been 17 years already.
17 years, and I'm
when it started.
100% honest when this is my favorite pizza anywhere. I was so excited when they came here, and then Jeremy, the owner, reached out, and he just wanted to do something like this just to show, to keep the community up to date on sports and arts and band and choir and all that stuff. And so we hope we're doing that. Next week, I know one guest that we're having, and it's going to be Jack Unruh.
I'm excited about that again.
And we'll get some other coaches on and have fun again next week. Les Schroeder.
Yes, it was a blast. I mean, good job tonight.
Yeah, if you tuned in, thanks for tuning in, and click subscribe on the Boss's Pizza button. I guess we need that for something I don't understand. But okay, we're out of here. All the tea live from Bosses, week 3. Bye-bye.